Welcome to Little English Studio. In today's episode, we take you through the life and legacy of Queen Elizabeth II, the longest reigning monarch in British history. Queen Elizabeth's reign lasted more than 70 years, stretching from the early 1950s into the 21st century. Her journey reflects a world in transition from post-war recovery to the digital age, from empire to modern commonwealth, from tradition to transformation in clear, slow English. You will learn her story, how she averted national crises, steered cultural change, and embodied a lifetime of service. Ready to explore? Born April 21st, 1926, in Mayfair, London. Elizabeth Alexandra Mary Windsor grew up as the daughter of Prince Albert, Duke of York, and Elizabeth. Her childhood was private but privileged when her uncle, King Edward VIII, abdicated in 1936. Elizabeth's father became King George VI, making her heir presumptive. Less than a year later, World War II broke out at just 14. Princess Elizabeth made a national radio broadcast to calm frightened children during the Blitzer sign of her early sense of duty. Eventually, she trained as a driver and mechanic with the Auxiliary Territorial Service at age 18, becoming the first female member of the royal family to serve in uniform. Her early sense of responsibility was clear from her statement on her 21st birthday. "I declare before you all that my whole life shall be devoted to your service." King George VI died on February 6, 1952. Elizabeth became queen at age 25. On June 2nd, 1953. She was crowned at Westminster Abbey, the first British coronation ever televised. Despite opposition from traditionalists like Winston Churchill, she believed in using new media to connect with the public. The event was historic and reached audiences across the Commonwealth. Millions watched live, making the monarchy more accessible than ever. Elizabeth served as head of the Commonwealth and visited more than 110 countries, meeting over 170 prime ministers during her tenure. Her global travels symbolized unity, diplomacy, and British soft power. Her 2011 visit to Ireland marked the first by a British monarch since the founding of the Republic, symbolizing healing past rifts. Similarly, in 2012, she shook hands with former IRA leader Martin McGuinness, a simple act loaded with meaning. Her reign was marked with historic jubilees. Silver Jubilee 19772, 5 years as monarch. Golden Jubilee 2002, extensive celebrations across the Commonwealth. Diamond Jubilee 2012, Platinum Jubilee 2022, the first ever, celebrating 70 years on the throne. Events were held across the Commonwealth, and it ended with her death later that year. Her iconic fashion-bright coats and hats were partly chosen so the public could easily spot her, showing awareness of her symbolic visibility. Queen Elizabeth. Calm demeanor during national crises defined her leadership. After Princess Diana's death in 1997, she initially faced criticism, but her later public display of grief and attendance at Diana's funeral helped restore public trust. During Brexit and political turmoil in the early 2020s, she remained strictly neutral while encouraging reflection and stability. Addressing Parliament in 2016, she demonstrated how symbol and tone can convey leadership without political intervention throughout the COVID-19 pandemic. Her televised addresses, quiet but firm, reminded people that history teaches resilience and unity. What made her leadership extraordinary? Here are key traits. Service before power. She epitomized servant leadership, believing she served others rather than ruled them. Preparation and curiosity. Weekly private audiences with prime ministers and peers praised her deep knowledge and insightful questions. Authentic presence. Brighto attire. Consistent messaging and calm speech conveyed reliability. Humility and stoicism. She accepted her role with grace, kept composure during crises, and maintained discipline throughout her long reign. Adaptability. She embraced new technologies from TV broadcasts to email and changed tradition to stay relevant. Legacy. Elizabeth stayed committed to her early oath, weaving continuity through change. Her leadership taught lessons in vision, duty, and institutional longevity. Born in royal privilege but later exiled from it by revolution, Elizabeth learned to connect with ordinary people. She married Prince Philip in 1947, a partnership lasting 73 years until his death in 2021. They had 4 children. Their daughter Diana captured global attention, and her death deeply impacted the Queen and royal institution. Despite inevitable controversies, Elizabeth stayed emotionally stable and consistent even days before her death in September 2022. She appointed Liz Truss as Prime Minister, showing continued duty until the very end. Queen Elizabeth II lived through revolutions in politics, technology, and culture, but she remained a constant. Her life and reign remind us of the power of quiet leadership, lifelong service, and principled vision. For English learners, this story is not just about royalty, it's about building vocabulary around leadership, history, and diplomacy, understanding expressions of duty, resilience, and symbolism, listening to a calm, measured English voice with meaningful content. Thank you for watching Little English Studio. If you enjoyed this story, please like, share, and subscribe. Tell us in the comments which leadership lesson from Queen Elizabeth II inspires you the most. Stay tuned for more episodes about world legends and inspiring stories in